Everyone, Imran Web Squadron. I have managed to clear out some stuff I was working on this morning because I had planned to go live today. And when it got to about 1 p.m., I started worrying about do I have to cancel the live because I was pretty hectically working on loads of stuff, but I managed to clear that out. Um, in fact, I cleared it out with about half an hour to go before the live chat. So I was able to just jump back in and revisit my little tool that I'm working on now. I can't see the comments at the moment, so just give me a moment. I need to go and make sure I can see the comments because it's pretty good if I can see them. No comments have come in yet, but I'm sure they will do in a moment. Let me just go and get the overlay. It's not my fault that I'm always late to do this with how I set up, because what I find is that if you try and set things up before you go live, sometimes the stuff you do when you actually do go live, it doesn't work very well. Anyway, yeah, my connection, there must have been something going on in the area because my download speed was like very volatile and my upload speed normally it's pretty high and it shot down to like less than a megabyte per second. It was really, really small kind of thing. And I'm glad you're liking the new project as well. I'm still working on it. I'm still tweaking it bit by bit by bit. I've hit a few issues with it that I'm trying to fix and sort out. With me, you see, I want to get it spot on right. So I'm doing it in stage by stage. And if I find an issue, I can't overlook it. I can't pretend, oh, whatever, no one else will notice it. If I spot something that's not right, I really want to nail it down. And sometimes that means I have to go back 3 steps because the issue might have been hidden, lurking somewhere there, and I need to go back to a previous iteration and then work it through even more slowly. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Hey, Tahir, hope you're okay as well. I'm doing pretty well, my friend, at the moment. Or pretty well-ish, kind of, in a way. But yeah, I've done some more further developments of the code, and I'll just give you a quick sneak peek and show you more of that if people want to see it. I can't even find where my pages are anymore. There we go. Edit with Elementor. Um, but yeah, so far it's what's this? Delivery attempt made today. A courier tried to deliver your parcel, but no one was available to receive it. I don't remember that. I'm always a little. No, that's not. You know what? I'm always suspicious when I get that, when someone says that. It's always a fake email, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So if I just quickly show you, if I shrink myself down, so over here it's now a bit more expansive. So, I mean, ignore how rubbish this page looks, right? I've intentionally made it really bad in places with intentional problems to find things. So obviously you've got your accessibility, the color contrast has now been made even better. So maybe it's a text versus background issue, or maybe it's the background of your button. Like if we go to this one over here, if you go to this button, so this is now, sorry, here, this is now the background color of your button versus the page background. So it might be the text or it might be the color of the button. So we do all of that stuff. And also, when you get to the mobile, right, if your buttons are too close to one another, like down, where are we? Sorry, let me shut that one down. There we go. Yeah. If your buttons are too close together. So on the mobile, you're meant to have a minimum of 12 pixel gap minimum between your buttons. And also, if you go to your buttons, if any of your buttons are less than 24 by 24 pixel in size, it alerts you to that as well. And the one I'm currently working on, which is causing a few issues at the moment, is identifying images that, there you go, it's working. Oh, it's working now. Why does this always happen to me? Why does it like not work? And now it is. Um, Maybe because I added it and the site needed purging. That might be the reason. So over here, can you see it's highlighting these two images because they're JPEGs. So that's a WebP and that's a WebP, but that's a JPEG and that's a JPEG. And look, it's telling me you need to convert them into WebP or AVIF, right? The next stage for this will then be right. Now tell me if any of the images are missing the alt text. So, the color contrast has been made better. If your buttons are less than 24 by 24 pixel, and watch here, there's 5 issues, but the minute I go to mobile, we now have a new issue, which means that when you get to the mobile, your buttons must be a minimum of 12 pixels away. And so far, I've done the image thing, and then I'm going to build in the next stages. I'll let you know. The next stages are identifying alt text, which is missing. Um, and then after that, I will then do the ARIA labels or ARIA attributes, um, especially if you have an icon or a button without descriptive text. Then vague descriptions. So if you do click more, see more, read more, read more you can get away with, but I'm still going to highlight it, and then you make that decision. Also, I'm going to highlight if you're not using font clamp, like a calc formula. Again, you can ignore it. You don't have to agree with it, right? And then the next stage after that will be adding in a toggle so that you can say ignore calc issues, for instance, because maybe you don't want to be alerted to a font clamp issue. Maybe you're using Pixel. You don't care about font clamp. Maybe using REM, you don't care about font clamp formulas, right? No, I don't want to do that, whatever, right? You can toggle that one off. But the other stuff, all of this stuff, once it's built in, um, it's going to make a difference for you. So that's what I'm working on in my spare time. Okay. I don't have a lot of time to do this. So every time I have a moment, I have to jump in and have a look. And for those of you that, if you care or do not care, let me show you once again. We are at that stage whereby I am, every time I get a little moment, I jump in and make another tweak or something. So I have iteration upon iteration upon iteration of this audit code at the moment. So at any time I realize, I've done something that is really stupid or it's gone the wrong way, there's no point going back to ChatGPT and say undo it, because it will fuck it up. Whenever you ask, let's say you add in a button and then you say to ChatGPT, get rid of that button, put it back to what it was. Often it will do more damage than good. Hey, Phil, it will do more damage than good. So it's always good to keep an iteration. So each time I make a change, so right now I'm at the stage where we've done the image format, right? Now I'm going to do alt text. So that will be another iteration. So if it gets it wrong, I can roll back to one that was working perfectly. There's nothing worse, and I've made this mistake where you go in and you literally paste over the code, and then you paste again and you paste again and you paste again and you keep pasting over it, and then you realize, oh no, I need to go back 5 steps, and you've lost the code and you can't find it in ChatGPT because you might have pasted a chunk of the code. It won't be the full code. It might have been replace this function and replace this part and this bit near the end where you render, tweak that. And you might have gone in and manually gone, no, I don't care what ChatGPT says. I'm gonna use my own brain and manipulate it. And that's where things get out of hand. Yeah, you're right. You're right. GitHub. To be honest, Phil, I just can't be asked. I can't be. That's the honest truth here. I can't be asked going down GitHub routes and anything. Just keeping it all local at the moment with what I'm doing at the moment. But step by step, we're getting there. Step by step, it's working. We're getting there. It's working, and yeah. I would like to think in a couple of weeks' time, by the end of September, I've now got this done and dusted, and you'll see a new video come out, and I might see what names shall we go for. page auditor, build auditor, WordPress auditor. I don't know, WordPress auditor. Will I get a court injunction done against me if I call it WP auditor or WordPress auditor? You know, maybe the WordPress powers to be will go, yay, we need to promote this. I mean, it's free. The only thing I would make out of it is promotion, because hopefully people watch the video and they look at me in a different way. I've made a point of this, and a lot of people say they don't believe me, but when I tell people I'm using Elementor, they look at me in a weird way. They're like, "Oh, why aren't you using XYZ?" And I'm like, "Why does it matter? Get your finger out your ass. You know, why are you using WordPress? You know, why does it matter what you use?" Um, Even when I say I'm using code snippets, some people get funny. Why are you not using WP Codepox? Or why are you not using Fluent Snippets? Or why are you not using X? And I'm like, does it matter? Does it matter what I use? You know? It's a bit like some people with WooCommerce and Shortcut. I've seen it. I've heard it. When someone says I'm using WooCommerce, the people that love Shortcut look down on them. And the people that use WooCommerce are a bit like, what's your problem? So what? You want to use that, you use that. You know, and it just makes me go like, it's like when you have some people, right, and they go, oh, I'm having baked beans, and they go, oh, you're having Heinz. No, I'm having the Tesco Saver brand. Oh, why are you not having Heinz baked beans? Maybe because the Tesco one or the Sainsbury's one actually tastes better or okay, kind of thing. You know, um, you know, you don't have to go to Pizza Hut to get pizza. You could go to Domino's or somewhere local. Get over it. Everyone needs to just get over it, kind of thing. Uh, you are right, Phil. You do make a very good point, but I will be releasing it as a code snippet. I will be releasing it as a code snippet. And I am planning to get some of my logic um so one of the ways I'm doing like a review before I get other people to look at it, and that is already on the cards with a few people who will help look at it, is I do it at ChatGPT, and then I stick the whole thing into Grok and say, is there a problem? Is there a potential issue here? Then I do it with Claude as well, and then I pass it over to other people. So there's always like a chance for it to get um AI peer reviewed before I go to real people. Um, very good point, Nick. Actually, that is a good point Nick makes there. If you ever do say that, make sure it's forced. So we could just go like page auditor for WordPress. And I would like to think that a lot of people that use WordPress on, people generally promote it and use it as well. I mean, I have found that the only people that are bothering to use the load primer or the font clamp calculator or the contrast checker or the PDF viewer or the mask curver and Pix refiner, a lot of them are mainly Elementor people. And it's just because the minute you release a video, even though it's good for the WordPress ecosystem, because you use a different tool or a tool they don't appreciate or like, they discount you. And a lot of people say to me, no, 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 you're making this up. They don't understand. There is truth behind this. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Nick, I think it's all, you know what? If Elementor was an underdog, right? And say, let's pretend Breakdance was the best tool to use, which it ain't, but let's just say it was, right? And then Elemental came out at the same time Breakdance came out. People would be hating on Breakdance because they're the superior one. They've got 12, 15 million users, whatever, right? When Elemental comes along, right? People would be like, there's this thing about when something is doing really, really well, people hate on it, don't they? But anyway, look, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that because then we just end up revisiting same old ground, and then we start going on about um, DOM rendering, backend code, wrappers, stuff like that. Which, yeah, let's not get massively into that kind of argument at the moment. So I'm working hard on this bit of code, and I sounds like a bird just hit the window, which would surprise me because I'm not sure how a bird would have got through the category to hit the window. Could be something else anyway. So what else is everyone working on? Now I know something has been raised a few times. I know Nick answered it. Well, not answered it, but did kind of relay that we're still in the alpha phase, and there's still a bit more to go, and there's still some big changes to come before we get anywhere near to beta or the final version. But I still think we're not going to get the final version of version 4 until, I would say, next year. I would say 12 months from now, we either have just got it or we're still nearly there at the moment. I still feel like there's a bit more to come out. And I don't think this is on the radar, but I really do think that Elemental do have to take the taxonomy filter up a gear. We've had it 2 years now, the taxonomy filter. Big thing when it came out, but I do think we need to pick up a gear, have better, you know, filter. If you want to have two filters and you pick from one, it needs to impact on the other filter. We need to have more styling options like range, color picker, checkbox, radio. We need to have some of these styles kicking in. Uh, I've done some taxonomy filter videos about a year ago. I want to revisit it. So when I get this tool done and dusted, my next challenge is to create a better filtering system that's going to work for Elemental as a code snippet, where you can apply it to post product, post type, loads of stuff. What's going on my screen? Hold on, something's gone on my screen. There we go. You can apply it to post types, stuff like that. But you can also pick your different types: checkbox, radio, select, multi-select, drop down, maybe color picker, stuff like that. And it picks up whether it's your category, product category, custom fields, obviously, um, attributes from your products as well. So we can have like your own. I don't want to say like Grid Builder because it's no way going to be as good as Grid Builder, but if you were able to now create a better filtering system than just a very basic one, because at the moment, if you got a shop and you're using Elemental and you're not using like Shoptimizer or the Shoppermentor, what was it called? The shop extra add-ons and all of that, or other plugins, you just got the taxonomy filter, which is not great because the minute you have a filter for a category, then you have a filter for something else. You pick, say, a category, it does not impact on the other filter. Do you know what I mean? So it might say like you got 10 items and you pick color, it will still say 10 items for the second filter. When really, if you picked red and there were 3 items for red, it should change that one as well. So, cross contamination, pollination is not happening. Impact. Yeah, well, one thing is good is that, things are developing. I must say, though, that the latest 3.31, or was it 3.32? I did find the transform and was it the transform? I think it was translate, transform, those features. I did not find them very intuitive. I found it quite confusing as I was using it because I'd add on an element and then I'd tweak it using the new features, transform and transitions. And then I tweak it and then it didn't do what I thought it might do. And then I found it more confusing. I need to play around with it a bit more. And I might do that as a future live chat where I actually just play around with it on screen and see what other people think about it. So that's what my thinking is, though, Nick, because I had a feeling that once we get the full on atomic adoption for the V4 features, it wouldn't surprise me if we start to see bigger and better things for the loop grid, for the taxonomy filter, for the shop, single product items and all of that. So I I'm pretty hopeful. But then again, it's not like it's the end of the world. If like you still have to use a third party solution or whatever. But yeah, Nick, I just found that when I mean, look, I could do it on screen, right? I could do it. Nah, do I want to do it on screen? Do I want to do it on screen? Yeah, let me just show you on screen, right? Let me just show you. So I'm going to go to a page. Let me go to this page, edit with Elementor. Let's have a look at this and get the mini-me. Make me bigger. Move me over here. Right. Okay, cool. So I'm going to, no, we won't do a flex like that. I'm going to add in let's just drop in a heading. Okay. Then you go to style and we go to effects and we go to transform for the, in fact, let me just increase the size so it's easy for you to see. Let's click on that. Let's go to transform. And then you have these options, right? Move, scale, rotate. Okay. So when you start to move X, obviously it goes like that and it goes like that if you go the other way, and you can stick a negative number in as well if you want to go the other way, right? Okay, that's all pretty good. Then you got move Z, right? And this wasn't doing anything for me. And I started thinking about this, right? I kept looking at it and going, what's going on here? Why is it not moving? Why is it not twisting out or something like that? So I'm going to pop that back to be 0 for now. It wasn't doing anything for me. Then I thought, well, maybe it's due to the origin or something like that. So then when I go and pop in 100% or 25%, I just feel like it, it just started confusing me. And then I started going on with the perspective and I started going, where are we going with this? What is all of this all about? And then obviously I started working on my other snippet and everything, so I didn't have time to go into this because I was juggling lots of things when this beta version came out, which is why I never did a video on it. Some people did say to me, "Why have you not done a video?" And I was like, "I'm tied up with other stuff." But it just got really like confusing. I mean, the transitions. What have we got here? Transitions. Yeah. So it just, I don't know. I just felt like this is not making perfect sense to me. If I go and do 50 like that, I mean, it jumps off all the way there. But there was some parts of it that just kind of like, I need to find a better way of explaining what all of this is, because I feel like this is not very clear at all. I get the origin bit, but it's explaining it. Anyway, let's just jump out of that page because I don't want to spend too much time looking into that. But yeah, it's just something I thought I need to explore a little bit more. Oh, it's my friend. What's going on? What time? After 11, are you staying? Probably not. Probably not. Right, just got to quickly reply to this message because I'm going to see my friend on Saturday, and I've just realised what time. What time are we meant to be meeting up? Right. Okay. Cool. Right. So Nick says, Z is like Z index. Oh. Hey, Alicia. Oh, I didn't. Oh yeah, you're right. Z would be the Z index. I need to play with it a bit more. I do need to play with it a bit more. Yep. I do need to play with it a bit more. Um, so yeah, I just need to play with it a bit more when I get a chance. I think my trouble is I've got so much going on in my head sometimes that when I when I'm up to date with my client work, or I've done some videos and they're all edited and scheduled out, that's the point when I get um I have to focus on maybe like a code snippet or something I'm working on. And it can be a pain in the ass because you're literally jumping from job to job to job. And one thing I keep saying to myself recently is I maybe do need to consider hiring an editor. But I worry that if I hire an editor for my videos, they're going to struggle with like kind of, yep, Z index, stacking order, all of that. I think what I need to do with the transform one, you see, is come up with a good tutorial. And when I say good tutorial, it's got to feel real. I always find that I don't like to explain features. So I've seen some videos and people, and they'll explain like a feature, a bit like on the iPhone, right? When a new feature comes out or a new feature for your computer or your Mac or whatever. And what they do is they just reel it off. Oh, you can now do this, you can now do this. And I always feel a bit like, but what is the real life application of that feature, for instance? And that is something that people, I often find they don't articulate very well sometimes. So I would like to have like a hero banner idea in my head and then think about why would you want to use that transform feature over there? Obviously, maybe because you want to create a hover effect or you want to skew it. Because I did a video about 2 months ago about skew images and how you could use, or was it last month? Might have been last month. You know, with your perspective, if you just want to have that slightly distorted, but it just feels like it's going into the page kind of look or coming out the page kind of thing. Um, yeah. But you are right, Phil, and and Nick, thanks for doing that as well. But you see, that's where you see. So, like the example you've given, Phil, there, you can make a door like animation where the element swings open. For me, it is a bit like, why would I want to do that though? It's one of those things where I don't think I can, at the moment, come up with a good design for why you would ever want to do that. I'm one of those people that's like, don't overdo animations. You know, don't GSAP everything. Don't stick lotties in. Don't have too much going on. Um, in fact, that does remind me about something as well. I am finding I'm one of those people where I like things to be really crystal clear and simple, and I'd love to know what your thoughts are about this. I'd love to know your thoughts. There's a in the last sort of like 2 or 3 years, yeah, no problem, mate. You take care, Nick. In the last 2 or 3 years, we have had this like increase in over animated videos. So forget websites for a moment. I'm talking about YouTube videos. So what happens is the video comes up, and before you even get into the nitty gritty of what the video is telling you, or what's the problem it's going to solve, or what's the crux of the video, there's like text coming in, things flying in, flashes of light, switch over to a B-roll, shows another B-roll, someone moving, someone coming in, another word flashes in. You know, there's stuff going on because they think that to keep your attention, that's what they want to do. But can I just say, as a 46-year-old, and I would even say this is kind of true for people in their 30s as well, and even maybe 20s as well, and even older people, we don't always like to have so much things happening. You know, if I've come to watch a video about how to make money, just tell me how to make money. I don't want to see boom, 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 yeah, boom, and all this stuff flying on, right? And I do find that the videos I like the most are, it's like podcasts. Why do people like sometimes you could just listen, but if there's a video version of a podcast, you don't mind watching it because it's just people sat there talking. They got a microphone, they're just talking, right? They don't have to have stuff flying in. Now, if you want to have overlay text appear to drum home a point, that's okay. As long as you don't boom, 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 clip art, images, lines, graphs, things flying in, loads of stuff going on. Gets really super silly busy. That's what I find. And I'm finding that if I watch a video and someone is doing too much, I often switch away from it because it almost gives me like a precursor to what's going to be like the rest of the video. And what I hate about that is that if you glance away, they might have showed something really important, but because you glanced away, you missed it. And I hate that. And then you have to rewind to go, what was that? Something flashed up. What did I miss? You know, and I don't know. I'm a bit like that. Um, Alistair, does anyone know the best way to create grouped product on WooCommerce without a premium product? You can do that with just WooCommerce. You know, oh, hold on. You don't mean grouped product where you might have 5 products and then you group them into one product, and that product is a group of all of them so they can buy individually, or they can buy all of them on one page. But the other way to do it is you could create like a variation as well. I'm just trying to remember in WooCommerce, can you do that? Can you pick the other product? Do you know what? From memory, I can't remember. What did we do for someone once? Because they had products, but we allowed you to bundle them up. And when you bundled them up, it applied a discount as well, depending on what you bundled up. I can't remember, but I don't know why, but I'm thinking, I don't know why, it's in my head that there was something you could do with the, I'm just going to double check for you because I'm pretty sure in WooCommerce, you could do that. I'm talking aloud here, all right? I'm talking aloud here, but I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think. So are you saying though that do they have the authority to pick the products they want to add? Or is it literally like you got 5 products and then you'll have a super bundle and the super bundle is all of them in one go? Because if so, well, that's kind of like what I've done with our full batch product on our website. I've got 9 packs, different products. And then I got the full batch, which is all of them grouped into one. So is it that they'll get everything you decide to put in there, or are you going to say they can pick and choose what falls into that group? Can you just clarify that, Alistair, at all, if that helps? I'm not sure. I hope that made sense, what I'm saying there. Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing? Are you going to let them pick and choose what they want? I'm just reading your question again. I'd like a get the look option on my store where the customer can buy 2 or 3 products on one page. That's the bit that's confusing me. So is it that there's a total of 3, but they could pick 2 out of the 3 or 1 out of the 3, or just buy the product, or 3 out of the 3? Or are you just saying there'll be a bundle? Because if it's a bundle, you just create a group product. You just go in, you create your individual products, then you create a new product, and then in the product data tab, there will be the option for grouped product. And then inside of there, you will then just add in your products. You just add in the name and and they'll show, and then you pick them, and that's it. It's really simple and easy to do. You don't need a premium plugin for that. But is that what you were talking about, Alistair? I think Alistair's gone. So we won't say any more about that issue anymore. Um, I'm just going to quickly reply to this message. Right. Um, it's a bit quiet today. I mean, I do think though that this is the third live chat in a row now. And obviously people are going to be busy and stuff like that. And there is a chance that if I do more live chats where I'm on the day after the day after the day, it can get a bit boring a little bit. So Alistair says, my store sells lingerie. A woman might want to shop the look, but they have different sizes in da 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 da. But I can't create a whole new product because of stock. So that still doesn't clarify it though, because obviously they want to get the look. Um, it feels to me like, okay, right. This is a slightly tricky one then, because they might want to get, say, the top half, but pick a particular size, and then the bottom half, which will be a particular size. But usually the way a lot of websites work is they might have a look and then they'll have related products. So maybe if someone goes for, say, the bra or whatever, there'll be a related product. And then you click that and it takes you to another page to get the underwear or whatever. Being able to pick your top and select the size, then pick your bottom and select the size, that does add, that could be done with ChatGPT, I bet. Bit of coding, I'm sure you could. But because mm, the way to approach it is you need to obviously have your individual products with your size variation, right? Your size variable. Then you want to create a grouped product for the look, but you might just want to ask ChatGPT because you want to still enable the feature or the facility where they can select different sizes. So if they pick this product, that will give them 5 items, but then they need to be able to select the variable size per item. So you might need to just go through ChatGPT for that, because I'm sure there'll be a code snippet or a way to do it. But that does tie in though to the video I released today, which is like, my question back to you is, have you tried asking ChatGPT? So what you want to be telling ChatGPT, you don't want to be telling ChatGPT what you've said. What you want to say is, I've got 5 individual products. I have created a grouped product that contains these 5. But each of my 5 has a size variable or attribute, size variable. I want the user, when they go to view the grouped product, be able to select individual sizes for each of those 5 items or 2 items. How would I do that? And that's what you want to ask. That's your entire question, right? Not how do I do this? As detailed as you can make it without going overboard. And it should then hopefully advise you. It's a good idea for a future video, actually, that one. I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to make a note of that because I think that's a good idea for a future video. So, whoopsie daisy, grouped, with variation sizes. Products, grouped products, get the look. You get the look right. Yeah, get the look right. Yeah, I think that's one that's going to need a bit more thought, a little bit thinking, because I know there's plugins and stuff you could go for, but like you said, if you want to do it without a plugin, and to be honest, we're now in the era where there's a lot we can do without having to use a third-party plugin. Not completely, I'm still yet to see a proper, um, robust WooCommerce subscription code snippet. I was actually working on one, and then I realized how much of a hassle it was going to be with APIs and passing back the webhooks and endpoints and making sure customer information was stored in the order area, and what if you need to edit that, and communication and things like that. Um, but yeah, like Phil says, you could, add all to cart, but I feel like, I think it just needs a little bit of thought. Um, because you might go to a per product page. I mean, you could if you want though. And again, you got to think about this. You could have like so what a lot of shops do, like River Island, they'll have like the latest look, and it's got a man in a coat, trousers, shoes, socks, all of his stuff, right, with scarf. And when you say get the look, you go to a dedicated page for that look. And then what happens is you have the add to, so then you have the full look, and then you have the individual items as images. And next door to each one, there will be, like Bill just said, add to cart. And it includes inside of there the variation. So then you pick what you want, and then you pick them all individually, but it's on the page, if that makes sense. So, you could do that. But yeah, but yeah. I mean, if you keep it really, really simple, that's what I would go for, right? You click on a page for that product, right? And that helps from a marketing point of view and SEO, because you can really market that page then. And then you'll have then you'll have yeah, chain the multiples of quantities. Then you'll have like your full image, then you'll have your 5 different products, add to cart, each one has the variation. And when you click each one, because it might be that you get the look. I want the jacket, I want the trousers, but I don't want the shoes and or the socks or the scarf. So get the look, but I might only want to add the jacket and the trousers. So I can just pick my sizes and add them. And I think that is a better way to, in fact, you know what? That's the best way to approach it. Let's not complicate it. Keep it simple, right? Because you might say get the look, but what if I don't want all of it? I don't want all of it. I just want that and that kind of thing, you know? Um, so I would say, and Phil's giving some good ideas, that I would say keep it simple. Because there are times where, like, there's nothing worse when it's a bit like so I've got this electronic digital gym thing over here, right? Where I can hit buttons and the weight goes up and down. It goes from, each handle goes from 2 kilograms to 30. Is it 31 or 30? I think it's 31. Might be 30. Goes from 2 kilograms to 30 per handle, right? So left and right, that's a total of 4 to 6 when you add it all up. So you can do loads and loads of exercises and whatever's you want, right? And there were 2 versions of it. There was the basic version, which came with handles where you could not change it on the fly. You had to use the app. Change it on the app and then you do it. I wanted to upgrade because I wanted the handles where it has buttons on the handles, so you can increase or decrease, or even you hit the button and it instantly goes to like 20 kilograms per hand, or you hit it again and it instantly drops to 2. So you can do your exercise and drop it down and all that. But the trouble is that product, it came with the smart handles and the smart bar and like these extra other handles, which I didn't want. I didn't want the bar and I didn't want that. But it was bundled all up together, kind of thing. And I would have preferred it if they let me make that option. So here's the base model. Do you also want the smart handles? Fine. Boom, adds on, kind of thing. I would have preferred that, because the bar sat in my corner of my room. Used it once to try it out. I was like, no, I don't like this. You know when you're doing chest stuff, right? I don't like where you have the bar, because It's just like that, right? And if you're weak on this arm, you're compensating it with that arm, right? Because you're pushing. Whereas when you have individual, you can flex a bit more, different movements now, right? You know, you're going like that or like that. And if this arm goes up, but this arm is straight, you know, you can, yeah. But when you do that, you're compensating with the other arm. It's just, not the same. Um, but yeah, I mean, Phil's coming up with some really good ideas there. But it is an idea for me. It is an idea. I might explore two different ways of approaching it. But I quite like the just have them as individual products, and it will add to cart. You know, because maybe they want everything except the jacket. Let them make that choice, and I feel that that is better user experience. Do you know what I mean? You know, maybe they want the look, but they ripped their lingerie. I don't know, the top or bottom half, and they just need to replace that. I don't know. Difficult to fully understand how many products are we talking about here, but I think you get the idea. I think you get the idea of what we're saying. I do start yawning when I get to this point of the day. The day starts to catch up on me. But yeah, I'm super excited about this new snippet I'm building. And I'm hoping that I can get it out there in a couple of weeks. Um, it'll be interesting to see how a lot of non-elemental people take it. Uh, because I when I did the video about the WordPress cliques, it's obviously caused a lot of noise in some places, and paranoia as well. And some people don't like it, some people don't mind, some people have said, I'm glad you went and said what you said because it's about time. But I do find that sometimes when some people do a bit of vibe coding, or, yeah, thanks, Phil. When some people do vibe coding of something that I feel is not scalable, but it's just something they've done, a lot of people in some WordPress communities really celebrate it. They applaud it. But when some people create something that is scalable and is very useful to the WordPress ecosystem, it doesn't get applauded, and it doesn't get maybe half the recognition it should get. I'm not talking about endorsements and sponsorships. I'm just talking about recognition of, damn, you need to have a look at this. Doesn't always get that. And that's something that does grate me. So it'll be interesting to see that when this comes out, are we actually going to see some automatic people celebrate it? Are we going to see people that don't use Elemental say, hey, this isn't a bad thing to use? Are we going to see people that are always relying on other consultants, third-party websites, third-party plugins go, oh my God, I'm going to use this and I'm going to let other people know? We don't get that. Well, I don't get that a lot. And in fact, I know a lot of other people that create things sometimes don't get that as well. Because if you're not like part of other communities, it's not that they don't know what you've done. They know what you've done. They can see what you've done. Believe me, people can see, right? But they won't celebrate it because unless you're part of their community, they don't want to boost you up a little bit or hype you up. That's the word, hype you up. And I always find that's the thing that gets me, because when I see some people hyping up what someone else has done, I'm not going to lie. They might have done something that is only good for a very select few people. And I mean that in an objective way, not subjective. No, subjective, objective. No, I mean that in an objective way. not being biased, not being critical, not saying, oh, look at them or whatever. No, there are things that are done, and you look at it and go, that doesn't make the world better in terms of um, web design or save you having to get a third party premium plugin or overcomplicate your build. Which is why, you know, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what some accessibility people say. There will be also, it'll be interesting to see how some accessibility people take it when they see what I do, because I've researched and researched nth degree over what I'm doing here, right? And I'm trying to nail as much as I can without it becoming a picky kind of tool. Oh, what about this? What about that? I'm trying to do the things you need to be taking into account. You are right, Jurgen. Sense of jealousy. People could even say I'm jealous, but it's not that I'm jealous. It's just that when I see some of the things that get promoted or endorsed, or you need to go and look at this thing that someone's created and something's done, I look at it and I go, big deal. That is maybe good for two people, the creator and maybe someone else. It ain't gonna have, no one else is gonna have any need for this. It ain't gonna do anything magical for anyone else. But when you have scalable products, things that can make a difference, there's no mention. I still am gobsmacked that like so many very well-known WordPress people don't talk about the Pix Refiner. You know, we talk about WebP images, and what happens is we do see promotion of third-party plugins by loads of people, where you have to pay a premium. What? We could use the Pix Refiner to do it for you and convert to AVIF and export to media library and control what's going on in your files databases and stop duplicate images being created. We can do all of that for free. Like, you know, okay, fine. You miss out on your affiliate commission. That's the problem at the end of the day. Let's just say it like it is, right? People are going to promote products left, right, center because they need their affiliate commission. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get that because even I have affiliates as well. But often, if there is something you can do for free, I was promoting bulkresizePhotos.com for ages before Pix Refiner. I'm not an affiliate of it. I don't make any money of it, but you can use it and it works for you. Unsplash, Pixabay, go and use it. Why not? What was the other one? Tiny Tool. Was it Tiny Tools? Oh, I can't remember now. Free SVG. There's loads of places where you can go and get stuff for free. I'm not trying to do anyone out of a business, but I don't want to always influence you or anyone, because people do sometimes listen to what I say. Not all the time, but some people do. I don't want to influence you to go and sign up and buy something when I'm not using and doing it myself, or you could have just got it for free kind of thing. Like I promote WP Remote whenever they do something good, or Blog Vault or Malcare. You know why? Because it is that good. I use it. It is good. It's really good. Saves time. Manage websites better. Stuff like that. I don't like managing websites, but it is good. Much better at updating plugins. I like the visual comparison. You know, the Malcare side of it, it really helps me out. It's good. That source of protection, especially when I'm analyzing analytics as well. Some good stuff there. But I'm not going to start promoting another tool. Do you know how many times I've been approached by Hostinger? Like people associated with Hostinger as well, middlemen coming over to me. Cloudways. I could start reeling off like Yoast, Rank Math. I've had WP Remote. I'm not joking here, okay? 3 days ago, I had WP Remote. Why would... they're coming to me and they want to do a sequence of videos. We're not talking about one, we're talking about a sequence. So I'm telling you now, if in the next week or two you see a WP Remote video, here's probably why. Not from me, but from others. I'm putting it out there for all of you. You get approached by WP Remote, sequence of videos could be quite lovely, lucrative income for me. Because I know they've got money. It's the Group 1. Knock my microphone down. It's a Group 1 corporation, right? There'll be money in it, right? But why? What would you think? Be honest with me if anyone is still watching, and I reckon loads of you have jumped off now, but be honest if you're watching. What would you think if I did a WP Remote video with an affiliate link, and I'm telling you, you got it, I recommend you go for the pro version, and because you're going to get all this extra stuff. What would you think? What would you really think? Bearing in mind that I have promoted for free Fast Press, you can use for free, code snippets to improve your website, the fact that you can do stuff off your own backside, do all of this stuff like that, you know. See, Phil says do it. For me, right, I just don't want to do it. You are right, Phil, you do need to make money, but my integrity kicks in big time. My integrity kicks in. I'm a bit like, I can't, no. I can't, I don't want to do a video for WP Remote telling people about all of the great stuff it does and all of that when I know for a fact that a lot of people that were using WP Remote stopped using it. They implemented my code snippets and the stuff that I advise. And now, even more recently, some are using Load Primer to preload certain parts like their fonts, hero banner images, and maybe the logo if it's, whatever. And it is getting better results than WP Remote. I could have an opinionated walkthrough. I could do full, but you know what? It just I'm one of those people, right, where I just can't do it. There's something about my DNA and the way I think and work. It's a bit like, how to explain it? If you put me in a room with 3 people I couldn't give a shit about, and I don't get on with them or I don't like them, I'm not going to pretend to like them. I'm one of those kind of people. Hey, Dennis. Hey, not seen you for a while. I'm one of those people where I have to be immersed, engaged, passionate, and excited to work on something. Let me rephrase that. If I'm going to promote something, if I'm going to work on something, if I'm going to talk to someone, if I'm going to go somewhere with someone, if I'm going to go anywhere, if I'm going to watch something, I have to be engaged, immersed, excited, want to participate. Even family. I'm not kidding you here. I have to feel like I'm going to get something good out of this, not just financial. Yeah, I mean, the product is good, Jurgen. We know WP Remote is good, but for me, it's like, I would rather show people how they can do things for free without having to spend money on it. It's like when you see all these people that say, sign up for my course that's going to cost you $1,000 because I'm going to show you how to make money. Well, they just lost $1,000. You could say, but they need to invest to learn. But what are you going to teach them? Oh, you're going to teach them to use their money wisely. Could have done that for free. Oh, you're going to tell them to create a newsletter. Could have done that for free. You're going to tell them to convince people to subscribe with a free lead magnet, like a PDF or a book. Could have done that for free. You're going to tell them to start like a sequence of emails and create that FOMO. Drip feed this special product that's coming out, and then it comes out, and if they don't buy it now, the cost will double. You could have done that for free as well. It's like because nothing you've told them is going to make them earn back that $1,000 kind of thing. So I went off on a tangent there, didn't I? We're now coming up to 59 minutes, 40 seconds. I will be jumping off in a few more minutes, mainly because I want to get back. True, Jurgen, but the different, I mean, and this isn't, I'm not being biased here, but it's like if someone got my course or Paul's course or Jeffrey's course or Reno's course or anyone's course, those courses are stuff that is very unique to what we're doing and how we're building it. And you could watch loads of our tutorials, but that full A to Z sequence, that's kind of like, that's unique kind of thing. But a lot of the shit a lot of gurus and influencers put out there, it ain't unique. What they've done is they've taken what someone else has said or that they paid for, and then they repackage it as their own. There is someone out there, right? Not to do with websites, kind of websitey. They created a course for you to learn how to package your courses. And then what the his people did is, because I watched a video and I just happened to watch it, and he name dropped 3 people who I know are doing the same thing he's taught them that they're now doing to their followers. It's like a pyramid scheme. And I hate that. They're literally just regurgitating the same thing. I'm doing all right, Dennis, by the way, and I hope you're well. Alistair says, I like your videos because you give out lots of free advice. If all you did was show off premium plugins, I wouldn't watch your video. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And that is why when I create Elementor Pro is premium, you're absolutely right, Phil, but that's my tool of choice. What was I saying? What was I saying? Premium videos. If all you show up, remember. Yeah, so that's why when I get this super code snippet cracked, it will be for free. Again, just like everything else I do. And I love it. I love to know that it takes me time, right? So far, I reckon I have spent, let me work this out, right? And I'm going to work this out properly, all right? So far, I have spent, let me get this right, 22 plus 11 plus 10 plus today. That's going to be, let me get this right. Wow. Okay, so far I've spent 50 hours on this supercode snippet at the moment that I'm creating, right? If I multiply that by what I would like to get as my hourly rate if someone hired me for consultation, that's £15,000. No one's paying me £15,000 kind of thing. So this is where I'm putting back the love and passion I have for making a difference into WordPress and stuff. And I know you guys are going to love it. I know you're going to love it. And I hope other people out there that have a view of me and what I do because I use Elementor, or whether I was using Elementor or not, the way I build, the way I explain things, I am not afraid to say there are people out there that do not like me because of who I am, the way I look and my background. It is true. You might say, no, it's not. You want to see some of the comments and stuff that comes my way or indirect attacks or whatever. But I hope this gets a lot of noise in a good way when it comes out. Right, everyone, I'm going to jump off now. I might be live tomorrow with hopefully another update on how this super code snippet is going on. I think daily updates on how it's going is quite refreshingly nice because you get to see how it's progressing before we get to the final big reveal. And it won't be a big surprise because you've already seen it. I hope you love the energy I bring. I always get overexcited when I do live chats. This is the real me. This is not an act. This is not fake. I'm Imran from Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. Take care. See you.